Hello everyone, welcome to Talking Health Dr. Laz, your favorite health program on television, reaching you from Nigeria's capital city, Abuja. My name is Dr. Laz Eze. A trendy story in the past 1 week that has a lot of health implications on the family of the former Senate President, former Deputy Senate President, I beg your pardon, Senator Ike Ekweremadu, has to do with organ transplants and kidney failure. And we think it's important that we bring to you the laws of Nigeria and also persons who have gone through that this path in the past, to enlighten us on what we need to do. As we proceed, our hearts are with Sonia Ekweremadu as well as many other Nigerians who are dealing with this very serious health condition such as kidney failure or any other type of organ failure. We understand that it's a moment that families go through lots of emotions and also have to spend a lot of resources in order to save the life of their loved one. The emphasis we'll be taking on this show is not the legal issues that is associated with this case, but of course to know what is like in terms of seeking support or even the regulations provided in Nigeria's laws as related to kidney transplants or transplants of any other body tissue. We're also going to be enlightening you on what feels like after transplant, life after transplant. Not many persons know that people with transplanted kidney have to spend through their nose, to even ensure that they remain healthy for the rest of their life. I have joining me on the program someone who has lived with transplanted kidney, if I must use that, in the past 13 years. I know you can't wait to meet her, but before that, we're going to take a break. And if you're yet to subscribe to our YouTube channel, this is the time to do so that you watch as many of our previous episodes as possible. You also have to follow us on our social media channels. Do stay with us. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Talking Health Dr. Laz, your favorite health program on television. Yes, joining me today to discuss issues related to kidney transplants, organ donations, and associated issues is the General Secretary of Post-Kidney Transplant Persons Association of Nigeria, right?
Yes, please.
Yes, Mrs. Oluwayemisi Femi Akimbinu, you are welcome to the program.
Thank you for having me, Doctor.
Yes, I'm
welcome
sure.
Viewers.
Pardon?
I said welcome viewers.
Okay, thank you very much. Yes, we have this story that's been trending, and it has to do with the case of the former Deputy Senate President whose daughter is undergoing kidney failure, and also the process of getting organ transplants for her that took an unfortunate twist. And it's an opportunity for Nigerians to get to know, because if not the status of the family involved, perhaps it may not make headlines and persons, may not understand the issues. So for us on this program, we are talking health, and we believe that the physical, mental, and psychosocial well-being of persons must be guaranteed at all times. So kindly share your story or your journey. How did you get the transplant? How did you get a donor? And also, was it done in Nigeria or elsewhere? And, just what you think the public might need to know, because nobody knows tomorrow. Nobody prays for this to happen. But if it happens, people need to know the right steps to take.
Well, thank you, Dr. Laz, for having me. I greet our viewers at home, and I'm glad I'm here today to talk about this issue. I was going to think that it was going to be about health, kidney health. I didn't know I was going to actually talk about myself.
Your story will make it,
I'm actually here on behalf of an association we presently have. We call it Post-Kidney Transplant Persons Association of Nigeria. Presently, we are over 260 persons on that group.
Wow.
We started as a WhatsApp group trying to encourage ourselves sometimes in 2015. And after a while, because we discovered we are alone all by ourselves, we decided to turn the WhatsApp group into an NGO, which has been registered since 2015, 2020 during the COVID, and we are live now. We are we have with ourselves, we're just a group of people that have been transplanted. Now, kidney failure, it's a lot of burden. I must tell you, most sincerely, doctor. It's money consuming. It can ruin family if it's not well taken care of properly. It can ruin relationships. It has a lot of impact on people around you. And it's so unfortunate that we don't have the ears of our government, to come to our aid. Kidney transplants, kidney failure generally, you have people with so many things that lead to kidney failure. Some it's hypertension, the others are high blood pressures, diabetics. Others are even infections.
Drugs.
I have people with nephrotic syndrome, So all these are things that accumulate that we don't know. And, because of the health indices and health status of Nigerians, we're not careful of what we do. People don't do checkups. So you don't know until it has gotten to the tip, the total end, that you can't even have anything to do about it again. So it's a whole lot. For me, I had my kidney failed totally between 2008. I started the journey from 2000 and eventually packed up in 2008. As at that time, it was a novel thing. There were not too many people dialyzing. There were not too many hospitals dialyzing in the whole of Nigeria. I'm not sure it was up to 10 as at that time. So it was a difficult time getting to even have where you will have your dialysis done, And those periods, I can tell you most sincerely, it's a devastating period. It's a period you won't want any of your loved ones to go through. It's devastating. It's and after the dialysis got so good, I didn't really dialyze for so long. I just dialyzed for a while. And at that time, I think we have 2 or 3 facilities too that are transplanting
in Nigeria.
Right? Okay. So I didn't have any choice. With the support of my families and uncles, well-wishers, I had to travel out. So I had mine in India. And quite a lot of us on the platform also have ours in India. Though we have centers in Nigeria now that are doing very well, successful ones, without mentioning names. There are lots of them that are doing quite well. And we just hope that the government will assist either in a way of maybe waiving for this hospital, so that in the ripple effects can get to the patients by reducing the prices of transplants.
What do you want the government to waive for this hospital? I know some of them are government hospitals, some are private. Are there specific things that if it's waived, it could help to make it relatively cheaper. For the patients? Well,
while I'm not a nephrologist or the hospital that knows what exactly they need, but by the virtue of the fact that the exchange rates now and the rate at which things are going, skyrocketing, you will definitely know that it has ripple effects also on health. So I don't know. I think most of the things they use for these things are all imported. They are all imported. And so if those things are maybe either give them some tax relief, either give them some waivers as to maybe exports. I don't know what they call it in the export industry. Maybe it can bring down the total amount of products they will use, and then in the ripple effect also translates to lowering the amount of money collected for transplants. I think
perhaps it's a conversation I will have further with experts who operate in this space.
I think so too.
So talking about the failure now, yes, for those who are watching, The kidney is the part of the body that produces urine, and also through urine, some other substances, waste substances, are passed out of the body. So when the kidney fails, which, as she mentioned, could be from infection, nephrotic syndrome is a form of kidney disease, even drugs, even some creams that people use, and all of that. So many things could lead to the failure. But when it's failed, it means they too are no longer functional. And there is need, someone can donate one of the kidneys, and if it's given to the person who needs it, it can't be, can be used. So what's the process? The National Health Act 2014 in section 48, talked about the control of use of blood products, tissue, and gametes in humans. It's actually part 6 of the National Health Act. So when you get to section 48, it talks about the need for consent, before any blood or any tissue is taken from the body, except in the case of blood in emergency situation, you can take for testing and all of that. If the person is not conscious, to give that consent for the sake of diagnosing what's happening. So what it has to do with organ donation, it's clearly said there must be consent, and it must not be for commercial purpose. No merchandise, there shouldn't be any exchange of money. And it has in section 48, subsection 3B, talking about subsection 3 actually, a fine of 1 million naira or even jail term of as much as 2 years, for those who are implicated in, using organ donation for commercial purposes. So in your group, what is it like? Even people find it difficult to donate blood. Even though you can donate your blood and you get up and go to work and do other things. After donating 1 pint of blood, I'm a regular donor, so I could say that. But voluntarily. So, and donating organ can even be much more difficult. And even when you find those who are willing to donate, it may not match. So what's the experience like, getting this organ donation from what you've seen so far?
Yes, it's a lot of, it's a difficult one. It's a difficult one, and we've had a lot of people that died as a result of wanting or waiting for donors. During in the past, it used to be a very scary thing, except some people now see some of us and see the people that donated to us and discover that they are doing well and there's absolutely nothing wrong with them. That's when there's a shift now in how and what people think. In the past, a lot of people are scared.
Yes.
How will a doctor open me up and then give out my kidney to someone else? What happens to me? What happens to the person, So but I think that's, we're living that era now. A lot of people are coming out. You have a lot of family that are helping out. Some are also not also helping. And in some of these things, that was part of the reason sometimes ago that I had to do some courses and become a kidney health coach, so that to help people during this period, to assist them, hold their hands. I can tell you, if we had someone to hold us during our period, I'm sure we'll have been a lot relaxed, we'll have been a lot relaxed. So it's a lot of things. You have a lot of psychology into it, a lot of, we've seen people, in fact, I heard of a situation where the whole family went into, you got the family splitted. One of the breadwinner has kidney transplant. A brother of his wanted to give, and they've all, the anticipation is there. Your mind is there that, oh, at last I'm having somebody to donate for me. I can live my life again. All of a sudden, he just turns up and say, the wife said he shouldn't give, and eventually the man died. So things like that still happens, but invariably for us to have at least over close to 300, then that means it's working. A lot of us have it here. most people have it overseas. And so you carry your donor along if it's overseas. And if it's here, then you go to the hospital, have the test done, make sure it's matching. Family.
That matching test, is it done in Nigeria?
In the past, it was done in South Africa. Some hospital takes it to South Africa, some takes it to the UK. But I think now we have some hospitals that are doing cross-matching and H-type, oh God.
HLA typing?
HLA typing, yes. There are hospitals in Nigeria now that does HLA typing. Yes.
Okay.
So it makes it a lot easier than in the past. As the year goes by, the technology is increasing. The hospitals are also waking up to their responsibility, especially the nephrologists.
Okay, that sounds good. I think we're going to continue this conversation after taking a break. We've been discussing the process of getting organs for kidney transplants and other issues that are associated with kidney failure and transplant in Nigeria. And we've read out from the National Health Act 2014, Section 48, File 48, 49, 50 had provisions on things that you need to know. We are going to put that on the screen, but that is after this break. Do stay with us. Welcome back to Talking with Dr. Laz, your favorite health program on television. Yes, I've been talking with the General Secretary of Post-Kidney
Transplant Persons
Association of Nigeria. Post-Kidney
Yes.
Transplant Persons Association of Nigeria,
Yes.
Mrs. Oluwayemisi Femi Akimbinu. And we've been talking about what it feels like. She's told us that many hospitals in Nigeria can now do HLA typing and even transplant. So coming back to you, there is one aspect of kidney transplant that a lot of persons are not well informed about, and that's the fact that after kidney transplant, the person who received the kidney will be on drugs for life. And that drugs help to suppress, ensure that the body doesn't reject the new organ, being that it came from someone else. So what's been the experience of yourself and so many other persons in your group? I know Mecca Akerejola, may God rest his soul. He's my friend, and we talk about this even on air, on radio, because he worked with a radio station, and he struggled when the dollar-naira rate started going up. He could no longer afford to buy those drugs, and the transplanted kidney had to fail again. And he was even ashamed of having to start doing public fundraising and all of that. And even though he later did that, got money, but before the second transplant could happen, we lost him, unfortunately. And so many other persons with similar experience, because I've worked in a dialysis center before, so I could relate to some of those experiences. So what are those things that could happen to a transplant patient? What support do people like you need, from the system? Because I can imagine how much you need to pay to stay alive after that.
This is the one question I'm glad you asked, and then I'm sure that my people will also be glad that it was asked. The life after transplants is the real process, is the real issue, is the real transplant, is the real work. We've had we've lost quite some of our persons on the platform due to non-availability of these drugs. Now, when a transplant is done, it means getting a donor, collecting one of such person's kidney and input in the patient's body. And then this kidney continues the normal work it should do. Now, because it's a foreign body, there's this tendency for the body of the recipient to want to reject the graft. So you are placed on immunosuppressants. Some of the drugs predisposes you even to other things. Some people are not diabetic from onset, but as a result of those drugs, they have diabetics, they have hypertension, there's infection. And because these drugs brings down the immunity of every person that takes it, you are prone to infections. And so there are a lot of drugs that needs to be taken. So after transplant, it's not yet an ihure. It's a continuous life of, taking drugs every now and then.
How cheap or expensive are these drugs?
Yeah, they're not cheap. They are not cheap. As a matter of fact, as the biggest, I'm sure you know the biggest hospital, the pharmacy in Abuja, a lot of them do not stock these drugs. Those are some of our issues too. It's so expensive. And they cannot stock it because the population is not much. It's not everybody that takes it. It's not like paracetamol. It's not like antibiotics. It's not like antihypertensive.
So you have to pre-order it ahead of time.
They don't want to stock it. And because they are not stocking it, or if they stock it, it expires on them. So they will have to order, or we order from overseas. And because of that, the prices are increasing. So it's a lot. You have a lot of us that it's well-wishers, government establishment that assisted in the transplant. And after the transplant, it now dawns on them that, I thought after the transplant, I'm just going to be okay. And so people struggle to get the drugs. People struggle to maintain this drug. And after a while, we have actually lost 1 or 2 people. The platform initially, up till now, what we do is sometimes we see people out of benevolence send to another person, or we just say, okay, can you produce your account, and we contribute 1,000 naira. We are all burdened already, and so a lot of us cannot afford it.
Struggling to meet up with that.
We cannot.
What's the cost? Can you give an idea? Like say in a year. What's average cost? Depending
on how each and every one of what everybody takes, but basically in a year, as the dollar rate is at 600 now, it's over almost 3 million
per person.
So you can imagine if somebody is spending 3 million naira on drugs every year. That is outside the fact that you have malaria during the period. That is outside the fact that you have infection during the period. That is outside, because as a transplant patient, depending on your year of your grafts, some people still goes to hospital every month for checkup. Some is now 3 months. And so all those tests, you run those tests. There are some tests that are statutory that you must run. As you are running the test from you are also running for the drugs you are taking, so that the percentage of the drug in your system is not too high, so that it's harmful to the kidney. It's not too low, not to be able to carry the kidney along. So it's a whole lot. Aside that, you have a lot of other things, because all these drugs, even paracetamol, has side effects. Absolutely. So you discover that a lot of us also have one side effect or the other. Right. So we are only praying that people will come to our aid and, assist us. Big pharmaceutical companies that manufacture our drugs will come to our aid. We're not even asking for money. If they don't want to give us cash.
Well, is there any, like the health insurance now? Nigeria has approved, the president has signed the National Health Insurance Authority Act. So it's hoped that now that insurance is mandatory for all Nigerians, perhaps it's an opportunity that your group might want to see, though the guidelines are not yet out yet, but it's something that you may want to explore. Yes. So final word, what's at the moment, pending the implementation, what do you want from the government of Nigeria? Assuming Mr. President is watching this show. So what is one ask for persons who are living with transplanted kidney?
Thank you very much, Dr. Lars. I really appreciate you for this opportunity you have given to my group, the Post-Kidney Transplant Persons Association of Nigeria. We are praying and we are imploring the government to please come to our aids. We are also begging, starting from the hospitals we use, if there's a way they can please you know, give us some percentage of the tests we run. And the pharmaceutical companies, big pharmaceutical companies, we're not even saying people should give us money because of what Nigerians might think. We're saying, can you please donate drugs to us? We have centers all over. Give us drugs, help with our tests. Let there be, you know, let there be rebates on our tests. Let there be rebates on our drugs. And we'll be glad if this is done for us.
And to the state governors, the same?
Yes, all the three arms of government.
All right.
And to every good-spirited Nigerians, so please come to our aid and assist the group. Thank you very much.
Thank you. And for those who are, who have been watching this show, any organ failure, whether it's the kidney, whether it's the heart, whether it's the liver, any organ at all, and these are the major organs that power the rest of the remaining organs of the body, is really a very serious health condition. Nobody prays for it to come, but sometimes if it will come, it will come. So please, when you find people in this situation, it's usually a very traumatic moment. If you can't give them money, give them emotional support.
Absolutely.
It's not really a time to begin to make jest of persons, or begin to recount their sins, because, if you have not sinned, raise up your hand. So the essence of this is to enlighten us on what is involved. Thank you once again, Mrs. Oluwayemisi Femi Akimbinu, for joining me on the program. I think I'm going to get your group much more involved, and of course, we'll see how we could keep telling this message out there. Every person, that live with this requires some more support, and thankfully, everybody will have health insurance going forward.
Thank you very much, Doctor. I appreciate it.
So thank you for watching the program today. I'll see you same station, same time next week. My name is Dr. Laz Eze. Bye for now.